and a team that's where their totals are usually in defense. So again, the effectiveness of McCall and how limited he's been in the first half. He's the guy that, Coach talked about running a set for him, running something, getting him open, getting him some good looks. One of the reasons that they've shot so poorly is that the shots haven't been great ones, and that's a big tribute to what Felician has done, but also Post needs to look and say, is this the shot I need? Can I get a better one if I've got enough time left? Still plenty of time, 15 points. If in the next 5 minutes they could cut 6, 7, 8 points off it, all of a sudden it looks like a much more tenable thing.
You heard Mike Andrewson mention during the halftime show, Justin Davis, 15 points, leads all scorers for Post. Devontae McCall with 5, and it's Post operating right to left that has it in the second half. Frechette in and out on a left wing 3.
Yeah, so it's a great look, though. That's the kind of shot they want to get. They'll take that one every single time down the floor.
And you heard Doug ask Coach Kuntz. He said he's going to run some sets for McCall, Frechette, and company early. There was one. Frechette missed the 3. McCray backing down. Agia leaves it for the trailer. Davis, fall away. He's been making that all afternoon.
There's no defense for that, Andrew. When he makes that little step back like there, there's no defense for that. You got to hope he misses it.
Davis continues right where he left off in the first half. He's up to 17. He had 15 in that first half. McCall backing down his defender. That's Davis. McCall couldn't get it to go, but that's more of what Post wants to see. McCall going to work inside.
Right, so look at these first 2 possessions here. You've got a 3-point opportunity that was just missed, rimmed out, but it's the shot you want to get. And then McCall, him driving to the basket here again, like he did in the first half, try to make something happen, try to get a foul, try to get a chance to put some points on the board.
McCall is shooting a pair. The foul on Davis, just his first. And McCall sinks the first. Devontae, 5th in the conference in scoring, entering today at 19.1 points per game. He had 21 points against Felician in the most recent meeting.
Stole the words right out of my mouth. Exactly what I was saying. We're on the same page here, Andrew, which I love.
And the call goes to a 2. Now a little bit of that full court pressure defense. It worked down the stretch in the first half. And Felician breaks it here. Cologne. Here's Davis. Strong to the basket, floating it up and in. Davis pulling out all the tricks today.
And he gave him a big cushion. He could almost have thought about shooting the 3, but then when he kind of came toward him, Davis whooshed right by.
19 points for Davis to lead all scores. He had 12 in the first round win over Chestnut Hill. Jason, step back.
Out of all the shots they've taken, that's been the most difficult one in this half, but it went in.
Cologne. A lob, broke it up, looking for the thunderous slam with Davis. It got knocked out of play.
Davis can jump. Look at this.
That's a great play defensively by Frechette as well. Ray goes to get it out high. Agia all over McCray, and that's an offensive foul.
Yeah, so Agia just didn't give any ground right there. And sometimes McCray is pass first, and that time he just thought he would take it. And Agia is a tough guy to do that on.
It's 32-17 Felician at the half. The lead still 15, 2 minutes and so, or 2 minutes and change, I should say. Off the clock, Jason missed the 3. And so Post, the best 3-point shooting team in the conference, just 2 of 10 from deep. Gio with a steal. Holmes in transition.
And there's the defense turning into offense quickly. The live ball turnover turns into a bucket.
McCray, H.E. And the foul underneath. It's on Agia, not McCall.
Yeah, it's a good take to the basket. 3rd foul, though, on Agia. So a little low-key with the 2 fouls on Jason and the 2 fouls on Agia in the first half. And now Abdul gets his third.
AG sinks the first. One more coming. Fresh off that career high performance. He dropped 26 in the playoff opener. The transfer from Essex County College has pushed the lead to 15 again. 38-23 Golden Falcons, aiming to get back to the conference finals for the first time since 2009-2010. They won it all. They lost to Stonehill in the first round of the NCAA tournament. McCall, tough, couldn't get it to go. It pinballs to Jason, and Post regroups. Frechette, open three. This one, he hits.
That's the same spot where he took that good shot to open up this half. Didn't hit it that time, but here he gets it.
Post's penchant to hit the three. They are not out of any game. Down by a dozen. Casey lost it. It was a pass for McCray. McCall in transition. Here come the Eagles. Timeout.
Exactly what it took. Just a couple of shots, and live ball turnovers, and all of a sudden, a little bit of numbers here, and McCall can turn an even numbered situation into what seems like an odd number situation coming down, and just finishes strong. And Felician did well not to foul and make that a 3-point play.
CACC Coach of the Year Mark Kuntz told Doug DeBias at halftime they were going to run some plays for Frechette and McCall. Now that McCall lay-in was off of a turnover, a transition, but we're seeing that with Frechette getting a couple of three-point looks. McCall had a shot in tight as well, and all of a sudden the Eagles have carved 5 off what was a 15-point deficit.
And you look up at the scoreboard, and it's a 3 against a 1. 30s to teens, and then suddenly you get into the 20s, and even though the number was 15, it was still 30s to 20s, and now back down to 10 with a good defensive stop here for the first time in a long time. Post to be within single digits, and as you said, that 3-point prowess, and they haven't shown it yet, but all it takes is a couple of them to hit, and as soon as they do, all of a sudden you're right back in the game, and that's what Post has been able to do.
Golden Falcons with a 10-point lead, 16-34. A great look in the huddle as Coach Kuntz drawing up a play. Might be for McCall or for Frechette. And you touched on this, the ability of Post, if they can clamp down defensively, because Coach Kuntz was pleased with the defensive effort. It's leading to some mistakes from Felician.
Yeah, and that's what this Post team does very well. The frenetic pace, the up and down pace. Now, as Coach said coming out, he wanted his team to match that intensity on the defensive end, and they have. They forced Felician into some shots that probably looking back on it they didn't want to take, but they also forced a couple of those turnovers, and importantly, kept the ball in play. Post is very good transitioning to offense and to score and to make it work. That's what's happened in these last couple of minutes.
Well, following the timeout.
All right, just coming over to making sure we knew that it was Ajia who had committed the foul. I was pretty sure that was the correct call. Third on Abdul.
Love when the officials come over and let us know. And so that is, as you said, 3, something to keep an eye on. They confirmed it upon a second look. Davis, nearly a foul on Jason. Played through the reach-in. Was able to get his hand out just at the right moment. Post clamping down defensively over the last couple of minutes. McCray, fronted by McCall. Out to Amos. 5 on the shot clock. Free throw line jumper off target. And Post can trim it to single digits with points this trip down the floor.
The Golden Falcons offense runs through Cologne a lot, and he hasn't had that many touches here in the second half.
Holmes dribbles to the top of the key. Now it's Williams. Takes on McCray and puts up an air ball. Contested. Good defense from D-End McCray.
D-End on the D-End.
Well played. Felician gearing up offensively. Half-court look. This is McCray. Fronted by Williams, the junior from Brooklyn. It's Davis. Nearly turned it over. Cologne. In and out. There is Williams. A defensive rebound. 15-15 to play in regulation. And the 3rd seed from the North, Felician, leads the top seed in the North. The champions of the regular season by 10. And you mentioned it, Jerry, in the first half. Another one of those passes into the corner in which the receiver is stepping out of bounds.
The game is played so much from the three-point line out these days, and you're seeing it on every level, even the NBA, where guys are starting, instead of catching that ball maybe a little closer in, plus the three-point line is further out, they want to start from behind that line so they can make that jab step and hit a three. If you start from a little further back, every once in a while you're going to lose track of where that line is, and that's what's happened here a couple times. We've seen it on the post side.
Under 16 media timeout. Felician with a 10-point bulge. You're watching playoff basketball, the CACC Digital Network powered by Bridgewater TV.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Felician up 10, 15:03 to play in regulation. Andrew Byrne welcoming you back inside the George R. Newman Center alongside Jerry Maloney, our studio host, Mike Andrewson, our sideline reporter, Doug DeBias, getting treated to what the tournament is all about. An overtime thriller in the first game in which the top seed in the South, Jefferson, went down by 3, and now the number 1 seed in the North getting all they can handle from third-seeded Felician. It's a 10-point Felician bulge with 15:03 remaining in regulation.
We've always thought, like, we feel like this post run is in it somewhere. Where is it? Now is this the start of it? It's with 15 minutes to go. There's still time, but at some point they're going to need to make that 12-2 run, that 6-0 run to get themselves in position.
And isn't that what has been so impressive about Felician? They've weathered those runs from post thus far. Peachy. Screen sent from McCray. Right hand dribble, hip high. Back to McCray. As this half-court offense gets set up. McCall comes out on McCray. And number 14 kicks it back out to Amos. Shot clock down to 6. McCray triple teamed and fouled.
It's half a bailout call there. You know, maybe the shot was deflected because of this foul. Let's see. And I guess the hand coming through is what made it. And because the ball doesn't get up to the rim, it was enough to affect it, and they call the foul. Don't love it.
Well, it helps Felician as the shot clock was readying to expire. McCray will shoot a pair. And he sinks the first. D.N. McCray, the senior from Newark. 11 points, 3 rebounds, played all 40 minutes against Chestnut Hill. We talked a little bit about his points and rebounded, but Jerry also talked about his passing ability. 3 assists per game. You don't always see that from a big man. And he's 1 of 2.
He's really good at a lot of different facets of the game.
Holmes. Looking for help, gives it to McCall. Couple of shoulder shimmies. McCall strong to the cup, but they are not falling for number 11 thus far here in Caldwell.
Davis has done such a good job on him today.
Peachy. Back out it comes Amos. A lob for Davis. Extra pass to the wrong team. Williams sprints into the front court and has his hand held by Amos. Good call.
Yeah, Amos trying to smack that away, and you know, you have an uncontested layup on the other end, but got a little bit too much of the arm. First foul on Nas.
Gia back on with 3 fouls. Hands it off to Small, and he travels.
Took the side official there maybe to have a better look at it. The near official here didn't go for the call, but it looked like a pretty good travel. And there's the 1 foot, and there's the other foot.
Here comes some pressure. Felician had issues with this at the end of the first half, but no problems in the second half. Davis will back it out. An 11-point lead for the Golden Falcons. Cologne accelerates to the basket. Buckets and a chance for a three-point play.
Yeah, Jalen Cologne, we mentioned the offense at times can just run through him, and he hasn't had that many looks and touches here in the second half, but that time takes it to the basket, and yeah, he can shoot the three and has that kind of unorthodox style from behind that makes it hard to block, but and when he goes to the cup, he's tough to stop as well. Third foul on Jason.
It's two Eagles with 3 fouls. Gia has 3 as well. Cologne leaves the free throw short.
85% free throw shooter, too. A rare miss by the junior from Patterson. Not too far from here.
A reminder coming up at 5. More playoff basketball. Our first look at a women's contest. McCall, and he'll have a chance for a three-point play.
Yeah, Falcons might have been better. Just go ahead and let that one go and not try to contest it. Davis is going to get the foul. It's his second. It's hard when you're such a great shot blocker to kind of let it go. But right there, the 2 doesn't hurt you. The 3 starts to let them get it back to 10.
McCall hits 3. It is 10. And just finished that point. The women, Chestnut Hill, the top seed of the South against third seed of the South, Jefferson. It'll tip off at 5. And Jerry will slide 1 seat over again and become the play-by-play broadcaster for that. I believe JR will be on color.
Hoping we can get as good a games as we've had here on the men's side, on the women's side.
We have been spoiled. Cologne dumps it off. Right elbow. McCray. Shot clock at 1. Peachy found himself wide open underneath. And there's the big fella McCray showing off the passing.
Great cut to the goal with the shot clock winding down. Peachy has to basically catch that and shoot it in one motion under the basket. He does.
Back to a 12-point lead. 12:05 to play. McCall up and in. That is a good fake from McCall, the up and under. Here's McCall getting hot. Can the rest of his teammates get hot as well? Back to 10.
That's a player of the year move right there by the player of the year. Willing his team back into this.
As you mentioned earlier, also the defensive player of the year. Cologne with a step back. No good. Gia pulls down the defensive rebound. Holmes, pocket picked. Amos from behind. Coming up shortly, we'll hear again from our sideline reporter, Doug DeBias. Another update. Right now, Post getting all they can handle from the third-seeded Golden Falcons. Looking to finally beat Post after 2 regular season losses. What a pass! McCray in sync with Davis on a give and go. It's a goaltend. And now our under 12 media timeout. Felician flashing the passing game. They're up by 12, 45-33, 11-10 left to play in regulation. We go down on the floor to our sideline reporter and the 4th member of our broadcast crew, Doug DeBias.
Thank you very much, Andrew. After that, not the last bucket right now, but the previous bucket when the Felician beat the shot clock with their layup, I was down by the Post bench, and Mark Kuntz, the Post head coach, kind of just turned and slumped his shoulders for a second, and you could tell they did everything they needed to on the defensive end. Felician just was able to make that basket, and you start to wonder, as we near the midway mark of the second half, Post has done a good job at times to get back into this game in terms of picking up the defensive pressure, starting to make some baskets, but it seems each time when you think they're ready to chip away, Felician finds a way. They get a basket, they get a layup, they get to the foul line. It'll be interesting to see if Post can get on a roll here a little bit, see if they can trim into this, get it down to single digits, and see how it goes from there over the final 11 minutes. Back to you guys.
Great insight, as always, from our sideline reporter, Doug DeVias and Jerry. Another Felician run spearheaded by Davis and Deanne McCray.
Yeah, and Post has made 6 of 11 shots here. They've taken much better shots in the second half, but Felicia's made 5 of 8. They're doing even better. So every time Post has made the little push, Felician, Coach talked about being resilient, being down all those points. You have to be resilient being up a lot of points too. And so far they've done that here in the second half, really staving off these Eagles.
They've avoided the dreaded C word, complacency. McCall. Unable to get it to go. Gia is headed to the free throw line.
Great one-handed rebound by Agia, who's the third leading rebounder in the conference, 9 per game. And you see why. He's in the right spot, and he can grab with that big paw and pull it in. Takes a hack to the face, and he'll get to the free throw line here, where it hasn't been his strength. And Abdul hasn't scored yet today.
One of those storylines for Post as he misses the free throw. He had a double-double in the playoff win over Wilmington. 12 points, 10 rebounds, his 5th double-double of the season. And as you said, has struggled from the free throw line this season. Misses the first.
7 rebounds. He's been a quiet 7 rebounds. We haven't seen him with one of those explosive boards or any of those putbacks. And he misses the 2 free throws here. And, Post is going to need all those points. Starting to think about time here. It's still a lot of time left, but when you're down 12, you can't afford to just let those 2 go.
So far, so good for the Golden Falcons. They've led wire to wire in this game. Got off to an 8-0 start. They've never looked back. Looking at KO number 1. Set up a showdown with Dominican. McCray. Oh, he's going to work inside.
Yeah, when he gets the ball in that position there, he's going to score a lot of the times. He can look to pass from there, but he's tough to stop once he's there.
McCall was hoping for contact. McCray flew right past him, and McCall still got it to go.
11 second-half points now for McCall, trying to will his team back in, but there's the answer.
There's been one all afternoon for Felician, and it's usually been from Justin Davis.
8 of his 21 in the second half. Sorry, Andrew.
Quickly puts it in. 14-point lead, 9:45 to play. McCall, a 3. Now, this young man is heating up in this second half.
Before the game, we said, what did I say I wanted to see? I wanted to see Davis on one side and McCall on the other go at it, and that's what we're getting now. 2 heavyweights.
Mano y mano.
Maybe the 2 best players in the whole league.
McCray asking for help. Doesn't get it. Now hands it off to Davis. And the foul! Are you kidding? Justin Davis.
So the 2 just inside the line, but Davis getting whacked across the head by Agia, and it's the 4th foul. It's a doubly bad possession there, or defensive possession for the Eagles, because it's the 4th foul on Agia. He's got to come out with 9:12 to play. They can't risk it yet. And a chance for Davis, the 80% free throw shooter, to complete this 3-point play.
It rims out. He has 25. Remember, Davis scored a program record 46 points earlier this season. It came on February 21st against Caldwell. McCall swirling his way to the basket and a left-hand finish. Well, McCall is doing all he can in the second half to keep Post, as they say, within striking distance. But Felician has answered every time, and as Jerry said, it's been Davis with 25.
Davis, the last 2 games after that big explosion, that one you talked about, hasn't been quite as prolific scoring, but today he's turned it back on when it really counts.
Good look for Cologne. Couldn't finish. Cutting hard to the basket. Well, if Post can score here a field goal, they will get it to single digits. That would be a confidence boost for them. The offense running through McCall. A 3. No good. And a rebound from Cologne. It's 1 and done for Post this trip down the floor.
Going to get the isolation there, and McCall's a guy that you want shooting that shot. Again, another good shot. That time it just didn't go.
McCall has 21. A bulk of it in the second half. Here's Davis for three. Good.
McCall in his face, and he buries the three anyway. Big time.
No stopping number 13. 28 and counting. Jason with a step back three of his own.
The Post need that basket ever. Big shot for David Jason. Keep that one in your thought there as the game goes on.
Peachy, corner three. No good. McCall underneath, securing. Frechette wide open. And he'll splash in on corner three. It's an 8-point game. Here come the Eagles. Timeout.
Yeah, back and forth, and right there, talk about a 6-point swing. An open three on one end is missed. Back down the other way, the open three is buried, and instead of taking an 11-point lead and backing it back up to 14, we go the other way, and 54-46, the two straight threes. You know, we got a ball game.
At the risk of sounding like a broken record, is this the Post run?
It has to be. There's 7-11 left, and what Felician has shown is they're not going to back down. They're going to keep up the defensive intensity. And we haven't even seen the best of Jalen Cologne. We haven't even seen the best of Aitnik Peachy. And we haven't seen what Deanne McCrae can do here in the second half. He just has the 3 points. So Post is going to have to get themselves in position to keep this. First of all, you don't want to get it back into double digits. You want to keep it at 8 and match that intensity, which they've done here in the second half to shave off some of this lead. And this has been their probably the biggest momentum push is these last two shots, and they come at such a critical time coming after that big three on the other end by Davis.
Davis is 28. McCall has 21, and you mentioned the missed three from Felician leads to a three from Frechette. The Eagles are within 8, 7-11 to play. And it's fun when you get players trading shots, and McCall and Davis are going right after each other.
Yeah, and these are two of the premier players in the league. I know that there's some others there that can vie for that honor, but they've gone at each other a couple times already this year. First two games between these two teams, and Post came out ahead both of those. And Felician, certainly with Davis and McCrae are doing everything they can to flip the script on that, but McCall's just not letting that happen. And now finally, get those 2 threes from Frechette here in the second half. And if he gets going, now you've really got a battle. Now you've got 2 or 3 guys on each end. They're just going to keep throwing the haymakers.
The officials, well, 2 of them are huddled around the Felician bench, and head coach Ivan Lewis. And looks like they're going to come over and tell us what that was about.
With the timeout situation is they claim they have one, and obviously they lose one at halftime, so we're just making sure we play by play.
Just making sure on the number of timeouts, the Caldwell book and the play-by-play on the scoring to see who had the timeouts. It should be kept whatever's in the book, and it was a situation in the last game where there was a foul that was a 4th foul that they thought might have been the 5th. All right, these teams talk about is that during the season you get 4 fulls and 2 30s, but now playing with the media timeouts, you have a different number of timeouts, and these teams aren't used to playing with that. They just think you have 6 timeouts, you keep going. Now you have to realize you have to make sure you remember that you don't have as many that you can call.
They told us Felician now out of timeouts. That's what they were checking. That is a big development. McCrae snatches that away from McCall and was bumped on his way to the basket well before he got to the rim.
And once DN gets the DN going, all the ends going in the right direction, there's not much you can do to stop other than the foul, especially when you're from behind. But that's probably going to be a layup if he doesn't make that foul.
6:58 to play. That's a big development with Felician not having any timeouts now. Post still has 3. See how that shakes out. For Felician, the bulge is 8. Peachy, closely guarded by Frechette, will back it out. Drive to the cup, Peachy. McCall meets him. Wires go flying from behind the net. I believe the official got hit up
one of
high
those
as well.
wires. Yeah, looks like hopefully he's okay. So, sometimes you come to a game. I asked Coach if he'd ever seen, if there's anything he ever sees that's never happened before, Coach McGee. And he says, no, I've never seen anything. Andrew, you ever seen that?
I can say I've never seen that before. The contested shot at the rim dislodged the wires, and I believe it made contact with the near side official above his right eye, who appears to be okay.
Yeah, they look to be broadcast wires, so it's our fault here on the broadcast side. I'll take blame for that one. Looks like it's our broadcast wires that got knocked over. I've seen baskets with issues that have had to delay things, and Caldwell staff will come over and try to reassemble that, or maybe just disassemble that and move it to the side and try to figure out between games. Looks like that's our microphone there that we've been getting some of the great sounds of the game from. Took the brunt of that. So hopefully they're able to fix that. But, getting back to what's happening here, still at 54-46, I think either team would have signed up for the other team to have this total at this point of the game. But, we talked about before the game thinking that this is going to be in the 80s and it's going to be that kind of, you get to tournament time, you get to these games, and teams just, they play a little bit differently sometimes. It takes a little time to kind of get in rhythm. We saw it in the first game where that first 8 minutes of the game with the teams kind of feeling each other out. Now, these teams just played last week, so that kind of feeling out process, I think, is probably happened already. But at the same time, they played earlier in the year, and they played two really good games, and they're obviously two of the best teams in the conference. But sometimes it just takes that little kind of how are you playing this game differently, because the seasons are on the line. Neither of these teams are going to go to the NCAA tournament unless they win this CACC tournament. So for Dominican tomorrow, they're pretty secure. With this win today, for sure, they're going to be an NCAA team. But these two teams are not. They're going to need to win, even though Post was the number one seed in the CACC. They didn't get ranked this last week, so this is a game that's saved the season. And sometimes you lose sight of there are some seniors on these teams, and they're going to play the best they can here to try to fight their way back in. It looks like we've just moved all the wires off, and we'll hopefully fix those for the next game. Hopefully everybody's okay. All right, we got the thumbs up that he's the whistle hit the ref in the face, but we're glad he's okay. And now Pacey will get to the free throw line here. I feel like the Wire should get a couple of free throws out of this too, Andrew. No?
I agree. And you know what? We just talked about no timeouts for Felician. That acted as a de facto timeout for the Golden Falcons to regroup. Great job by our staff, CACC Digital Network, Bridgewater TV, to quickly get down and move the wires. And we're back with a 90-second or so delay. 2 free throws from Pacey. It's a 10-point Golden Falcons lead, coming down on 6:40 to play in regulation.
And Joe Giacchi from Caldwell also there with the ladder. Give him credit.
Jason, over McCray, left hand.
He has 7 of his 9 in the second half. Still an 8-point game.
Davis.
What a play by David. What a play by Amos to save it. That was headed for backcourt. What a play. I don't know how he got there.
Amos. Well, they reward number 2. They give it back to him, and he slices his way to the basket and finishes. Frechette, that's his spot, near corner 3. This time it's off the mark. Battle for it underneath, and Amos will slow this baby down as he walks it up right past us.
A good box out by Cologne, even though the tip for Jason, just such a good leaper behind him, couldn't get enough to be able to tip it to a teammate.
Amos spinning and backing it out. Cologne all the way to the basket. He started at the top of the key, then put on the moves to finish.
And Cologne a couple of weeks ago had 36 points right here on this floor against Caldwell. Was unconscious, and that's a big bucket right there for him. It's a 12-point game.
Well, once again, Felician has taken a punch from post and responded with a counter punch. McCall, straight on triple, well short, glancing blow, front of the cup. Paycheck is there for Felician.
Yeah, another good shot. And if you expect the way this game is going that McCall's just going to make every shot, and every once in a while you got to miss one to prove you're human.
Amos hanging in the air high off the glass, pleading for a foul. Holmes with the good defense. McCall running the floor. Right hand, thunderous jam.
Yeah, that time the quick shot there by the Golden Falcons, and they don't get back fast enough on defense that time, and they leave this numbers and to just let that dunk be the 2 points and not make it be 3.
4:41 to play in regulation, 60-50. We'll take a break on the CACC Digital Network, powered by Bridgewater TV. Felician basketball, their lead is 10, aiming to get to the conference finals for the first time since they won it all in 2009, 2010, and post aggressive defense. That's Williams, and that's free throws.
Yeah, and Agia is back in, and he was there on the press, kind of trying to disrupt things. You know, a lot of times you talk about teams that like to press, that don't like to get pressed, but this Felician team, their guards, it's the hallmark of this team. This is a guard-heavy, good ball handling, smart, knowing what they're doing. Cologne is a veteran player. He's a smart player. He's a great ball handler. It's a tough team to try to get back against doing that. You almost have to work in the front court and see what you can do.
Cologne hits a pair. He took a shot up high above his eye. In the first half, he's played through it. He has the steri strips for now above his eyebrow. Looks like his left eye, and he just hit a pair of free throws. 12-point Bolts once again, coming down on 4:20 to play. McCall flings it out high. Williams, quick trigger, 3, rattles home. Post has really picked it up from deep in this second half after going just 2 of 8 from deep in the first half.
That's what they needed, and it's a 9-point lead again. But okay with running some clock here, trying to get a good shot with the clock winding down. Not usually something Felician does, a little bit different from their offense, but it's what the doctor ordered here.
5 of 10 from deep in the second half. Amos, a 3. Off the mark. Davis underneath the rebound. Flattened by Agia. That is 4.
Yeah, that's going to be the 5th foul on Abdul Agia, so he's out.
Oh, that's 5. Excuse me. He's
yeah,
out,
the 4th
yes.
was he came out with the 4 fouls, and he finally came back in about 2 minutes ago. And, Justin Davis, that's the way he rebounds. He's not there, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there he is. And he grabs that rebound, and that foul there, not only does it put Davis on the line, but it fouls out the third leading rebounder, 9 per game for Agia for post. Now, they're going to need some threes probably to fight their way back in at some point, but the presence of Agia, he's a guy who gets a lot of offensive rebounds. He cleans up some of those missed threes that turn into another. A lot of the threes that the teams get open looks at are when there's an offensive rebound that's immediately kicked back out. That element is lost, and now to have McCall, you can count on him for shooting and for rebounding, but probably not on the same possession. So now, who is the guy? Is it Small? Who do you take as your replacement for Agia? And Williams will have to step up here, and they'll just have to find a way now to go without their senior from Pawtucket, Rhode Island.
And to continue what you were talking about, fresh off a game in which he had 12 points and 10 rebounds for his 5th double-double, came in averaging better than 7 points per game, did not score this afternoon. He was 0 of 1 from the floor, He missed a couple of free throws, and they will certainly miss what you were talking about, his rebounding prowess. And so that's a big void that Post will have to fill.
Yeah, he had 19 rebounds the last time that these two teams played a couple of weeks ago or last week, but didn't score and only had 8 rebounds the first time that the teams played. As you look at Coach Joe Clinton and the staff there at Dominican, they're looking very intently at what's going on here. They're ready for tomorrow for sure after what they did today. Exciting game here, our first game of 2. First free throw is good by Davis.
Dominican and Felician square off. The Chargers certainly going to have to contain Davis. 29 points, 13 of 17 from the floor. Now he has 30, and Felician leads by 11. It is getting late in North Jersey.
The game that he had 46 against Caldwell, he came out with like 6 minutes left because the game was so out of hand. He could have scored another 20.
Floated in by Holmes. Off the make. Pressure, defense, broken. Davis flings it across to McCray, who wisely slows it down.
Such a smart player. He knows exactly what the situation is here. It's 3:20 to go. The time plus a basket is what's most important here. You don't want an easy shot.
Davis off the glass.
Still a good shot, though. Big possession here for Post. Gotta get some kind of points here.
Down by 9, within striking distance. Frechette around the screen. Frechette! The lane opened up, and number 12 in white went all the way to the basket, and that is a foul.
Yeah, with Frechette, you worry so much about the 3, right? He's a 3-point shooter, and you're worried that they're going to start getting back, counting by 3s. There's enough time left where you drive, you take the 2, and you live to play another possession.
It is Cologne who will go to the free throw line, shooting a 1-and-1 on what is the 9th foul of the half. Just 5 charged to Felician.
So that's something that they don't have a timeout, but they can use a foul down the stretch if they need to. They have the 1 more to give in a situation that might call for that.
Cologne 6 another.
Felician's been tough down the stretch here with the free throws as well.
Frechette, left hand, was hoping for a call. He's frustrated and rimmed out.
Yeah, I think that's a good no call there. He was a little off just balance, and that's why he fell. But I don't think that was anything that DN did to push him.
A foul against Jason. That is 4 on the Post University junior guard from Chicago. More free throws, and now this time it's double bonus.
Yeah, for Jalen Cologne, that usually doesn't matter. He's such a good free throw shooter and a tough competitor. But it always helps to have that cushion that, okay, I happen to miss the first one, I'm going to still get another one. And again, this is you want to get almost to a target number. You're looking at 67. Wow, if we get to 74, can they catch us? If we get to 75, they just keep putting on the points here. Every time you get to the free throw line, making 1 or 2.
Well, the lead has ballooned to 11, 2:15 to play. McCall, left side of the floor. Fronted by Davis, fights around him and scores with 2 hands.
Just a smart play, though, by Justin Davis not to commit the foul there. The 2s, it's going to take longer to have them catch it with 2s than 3s that stop the clock as well.
Post really needs a turnover. And Williams commits the foul on Cologne. He goes right back to the line.
Yeah, if you're going to commit that foul, you want to do it higher in the shot clock, not let 12 seconds go off, because now you're counting possessions. So 11 points is 3 possessions, but 12 points or 11 points is 4 possessions, but 13 points is 5 possessions. If I do my math properly, which maybe I did.
Well, and remember, our sideline reporter, Doug DeBias, talked with Coach Kuntz. He was pleased with the defensive effort. The offense needed to get going. Post's offense has gotten going in the second half. The problem for them has been the defense has not gotten enough stops, and your math is correct, as all of a sudden it's an 11-point game again. Jason Williams, they leave him open, and he misses. He's long on the three. DN McCray underneath, pulls down the rebound.
See if they can play defense one more time without fouling here and still have time. They're going to have to now. It's down to 14. You don't want to foul.
An 11-point Golden Falcon lead. McCray steps around for shot. No! Put back dunk! Davis flying into your living room.
Is that the clincher right there?
McCall misfires from deep. Out of a scrum, Amos.
They may have called off the dog, Andrew.
What a story. Felician got off to an 8-0.
They may have.
Davis fly.
They're going to have to now. It's down to 14. You don't want to foul.
An 11-point Golden Falcon lead. McCray steps around for shot. No! Put back dunk. Davis flying into your living room.
Is that the clincher right there?
McCall misfires from deep.
Worked so hard all year, and Coach Lewis is taking this team that wasn't picked to get to the final of the CACC before the season and played just about a perfect game. They did everything. They did every time we said, oh, is this the time post? Is this the time post? There was never a time the post made the run that got them close enough that Felician didn't push right back and extend the lead back up to 11, extend the lead back up to 12, and do the job.
The slipper is still golden for Felician. 72-59. The third seed in the North has punched their ticket to the conference finals for the first time since 2010. And a date with second seed Dominican awaits the Golden Falcons tomorrow afternoon. Our own Doug DeBias is standing by. We'll be joined by Felician head coach Ivan Lewis, who's